Hello there and welcome back to War Thunder. Today I want to show you the AMX-40 in some first impressions. Again, not a tank review, but a first impressions. I tried out some things playstyle wise and it very much became clearly very soon that this is not a frontline tank. This is not a tank where you can take your chances. I mean, you can try, sometimes you will succeed, but in the majority of cases you will not succeed against other main battle tanks in a fair head-on fight, because you just lack a little bit the performance in comparison. That has nothing to do with me saying that this tank would be bad in any way, shape or form. It's just not as awesome in terms of pure handling characteristics than other main battle tanks, especially the 10.0 ones, and you really feel the difference. However, I think I like the tank. It has some character. It has a wonderful 120mm smoothbore gun and also a coaxial 20mm, which helps you a lot with the stock grind, because you have your 600mm heat FS round and the APFSDS round, which is the strongest APFSDS round, the second strongest in fact in the entire game, as far as I'm aware, currently in the game. If I'm not mistaken. It's a very strong round, but it's a tier 4 upgrade, and so when you have to use the heat shell, then you can at least chop apart, you know, the concrete walls or the fences, the wooden obstacles, and even cut down trees to make way for the heat shell. And also a nice side effect is that you can threaten planes, and also that you can shoot up obstacles in your way that your tank can crash into that would lower your speed, which currently in the game is a problem, a very annoying problem, if I may say so. Now, what is the tank made out of? Well, first of all, the armor protection analysis. If we go here to Germany and we go to the KPZ 70 and we use here the APFSDS, you can see everything from 500 meters is green, greenish, maybe a ricochet here and there on the lower glacis and the upper glacis, but the turret is practically paper. It just, everything goes through, and it has the same prominent weak spots. Everybody's shooting a gun breach, which is big, and so you always lose your firepower. You have 4 crew members, 3 of which sit in the turret. You have a little bit of spaced armor around the turret and a bit of composite armor on the front of the hull, but it doesn't really save you. The side armor is weak, and you have here in total 20 rounds that you can use without filling any of the hull ammo racks. So armor is not the tank's strength. If you get shot, you take damage, and you have kind of a lot of problems of getting out there again. Then what about the mobility? Well, you're more in the region of 25 horsepower per ton and not really 30. And also this is reflected with a bug, and this is the, if you drive down a hill, the gear shifting bug, and this is really annoying. So you just don't properly accelerate, and that is just not very good. But everywhere else the tank is kind of mediocre to good. 23.5 degrees per second turret rotation speed. If we go here for the crew, we can see that it is in fact 25. It's really great, but compared to the top tier main battle tanks that have nearly 30, not that good. Targeting vertical speed 6 degrees per second, not the very best, but a bit better than the average in game 4 degrees per second. Tank loader 6.7. Again, not bad. It is actually pretty competitive, but of course you always come across an Abrams and, you know, 5 seconds. So yeah, then the next thing is 7 degrees of gun depression instead of 9 or 10, and that is kind of the theme for the tank. But it's the very first French tank with a stabilizer, and that sets it apart. Funnily enough, if you look into the tech tree, what I would recommend, the last tank that is for me personally enjoyable for the French is the AMX-40 Super C or the AMX-50 Forge together with the AMX-30 DCA. In my opinion, the AMX-30, the AMX-30 1972, the B2 and the Brenners, just throw them away. Throw them out of your lineup. grind with the server. Say which you give a talisman, use the talisman effect, so the premium status, and the additional 30% bonus because you're researching the successor with that tank, and you have here a nice working lineup, and then you go to a standalone tank. And that is kind of a very similar situation to, well, the Japanese. The Americans and the Germans in particular have much better top tier lineups, and you really feel this. I mean, I was driving very, very aggressively here with my French AMX-40, and it became very apparent that this is not a frontline tank. And so you can see very, very low win rate. It was actually sub 20%, and then I changed my playstyle for a few battles and it gone up significantly. And this playstyle is of course taking the flank, laying ambushes, being a support main battle tank, taking your chances, never take a fair fight from the enemy's perspective, and very often you just have to disengage and just leave the enemy alive for you to stay alive. So this is kind of very counterintuitive, where every tank at other nations' top tier branch is like a top end predator feeling. So without further ado, I have some very nice game parts or scenes for you that I want to present you. Without further ado, let's get into the game. So I have 2 scenes prepared for you, and also 3 entire battles. That's the reason why the video is rather long, but I think it's worth watching. And the first scene is actually me screwing up. I see the enemy and I just want to risk my luck and immediately also catch here an APFSDS round. And again, my gun breach catches all the shrapnels, and then Gaijin's fantastic collision model comes in. Bit of a high ping here in this battle, and I'm just, doing here the French mode in a French tank. How appropriate is that? And then we just try to hide in plain sight and just repair. Now I would have easily killed here myself because I would just look at the ground and just see where I went, and this guy's just and I stopped actually the repair because I think he gets the trick by now, but he's looking in the smoke and I'm the only one here. So I drop an artillery strike right next to me, and there is a second guy, still 10 seconds to repair, and I was not really sure if I should be scared or if I should laugh. I'm so sorry, but this was one hilarious scene, and and here he comes, and now it's too late for him. Gunner is out, loader is out, so I just need to aim here for the driver, but instead I decide to take out the gun and the gun barrel, and then it gets a bit hectical. So it is really, really comical, and the APFSDS, well, damage cone is not strong enough to kill them here. Now I aim for the driver and he's gone. And then I reverse sideways. That was not intentional. That was very badly played by me, okay? But what was so much more hilarious is that I killed 2 enemies that were just arguably in better tanks, that just literally had no idea what they were doing. And I think this scene was really, really worth showing. That actually made my day. It was one of the first battles that I played, and obviously I can spoil you here. Then the entire enemy team went through the south, captured A, and immediately went to spawn camping, not actually contesting here the capture zone, which I captured now for the 2nd time. So then the other scene is a rather short scene on Cologne, or Advance to the Rhine, and I just want to show you what I actually can do with this tank if everything goes well. So we destroy here the carport with just a few hits. It's again the armor piercing incendiary, and here you can see we can chop down the tree, just make our way, or we can just make it easier for us to go through the city without hitting anything that just brings us to a dead stop, which is currently highly annoying and just sucks out the fun out of so many matches. Then when we are close enough and we get the confirmation that there is at least one tank in C, we drop the artillery strike, and this is very, very high risk, potential high reward gameplay. So we get the hits, we see the markers, we see where the enemy tanks are, at least a good portion of them. We drift around here, we see some enemy tanks going by, 4 hits already with the artillery strike. This is very, very aggressively. And then there is this Puma. I kill here the KPZ-70 and kill the Puma for a double strike. I think I saw another tank now here behind this building. There it is, and I have no idea what happened there. I have no idea. And immediately both tracks are gone and my driver is gone. I don't have the reload to compete here against the Leopard 2K. And the second APFSDS round just kills me. And that's the end of the match. But it was highly entertaining nevertheless. Now, that was actually also a very, very intense game. And I just went right into it without thinking too much. I heard the APFSDS whistling by and I just, nope, let's go somewhere else. And I think it is really, really difficult for me personally to find the right rhythm with some of the top tier tanks. Not every top tier tank, but I think you just have to insert a higher amount of camping, or staying back and just waiting for the enemy to go into your side of the map, and then you harvest them, then you flank the enemy. That's the theory, but it's not really fun for me personally. Nevertheless, this is what the tank requires in playstyle, but other main battle tanks can do the very same thing, probably even better. Again, not saying that this tank is bad, but in like 50, 60, 70% of the games, you will meet some of the top tier predators, the 10.0 tanks. This is a 9.7 that is more in the direction of a 9.3. Again, not bad. Not just that awesome compared to the competition. There is a Leopard and we really got him good. And there is the second one and he just has no idea. And so I'm coming from their half of the, map. And so they might not have expected me. Now he sees me. There is another one. And I do kill his gunner. But that was not enough. And then I tried to take him out. But a second tank actually hits my turret ring. That's not critical damage. But you cannot expect me to, deal with them right there. I lose the commander. And so that really doesn't impact my combat value at the moment. And that was really funny because I killed him with the 20mm. You can kill KPZs and MBT-70s and probably as well the new one, the XM803, from the side with the 20mm. Keep that in mind. The 20mm is the awesome part about this tank. So here I need to, repair. If you can see it, I actually lost the gun and the gun breach to the KPZ-70, and so that's an issue. So here the smoke, you have 2 smoke launches, which is nice. You have an artillery strike, make use of them, and I actually recover. No, I don't recover the commander here because I was very interested. Actually, I do recover him, but I was interested in getting out. I took here my chances. I had a good run so far. It was short, dirty, and intense. And so I expected, can I get more out of this, And you can see there are just a few teammates left on our spawn. And then I actually assumed that there is another one. And I actually kill his loader and the track. So now I have to out-traverse him. And he cannot really shoot over the back of his tank that well if I am at the right angle. And so I kill here the Leopard 2A4. And then we reclaim here the capture zone for the second time. So I think one of the messages is actually that you take always a very high risk if you're working around capture zones, but it's again high risk, high reward. It's up to you if you take the chances. The tank actually is not very well suited for that, except if you meet people that are really not aware of you, like this Leopard 2K. I think he didn't expect me there, he just wanted to flank around and was surprised by my flanking action directly into his face. So again, A gets contested and I just want to look around and look around. Where is the enemy? Where is the enemy? I don't see the enemy. I've given my position away. He knows that I'm here somewhere. And if he is now on my half of the capture zone, or the half of my team, then he has a very good guess where I am, because I'm not near him. So I drop an artillery strike and actually try to get the hell out of there. And he's still in A, because he immediately captures it. And then we play a little bit of flanking the flank around the flank, which is absolutely not confusing for anybody. So this is like rolling the dice again. Then I'm just trying to take here a breath, but there is another Leopard. I kill his engine and the fuel tank. He's on fire, immobilized. He doesn't know where the shot was coming from. A second shot actually takes out the gunner and the loader. So now I can aim here for the driver. And we take him out. Just cost us 3 APFSDS rounds. Now, I think if you're limited to effectively 20 rounds, because they are in the ready rack in the rear of the turret, maybe you shouldn't take that many heat rounds as I do, if you have the APFSDS unlocked. So I try to flank here around the smoke. Again, here the playing a bit of a mind game, spotting him with the cannon, flanking around without shooting with the cannon, and trying to surprise him from the rear. Chingles would be proud of that maneuver, I guess, but I digress. So, what the hell? Where is he? Does he get around here? Where is he? I just lost a Type 90. That is not good. So, maybe he went into A, which gets contested now again. And so we play Ring Around the Roses, I guess. To a certain degree, we'll have to see. So I wanted to enter the cap here. But where is the enemy? Maybe he's coming from that direction. Oh, that's an SPA, and we actually kill him again with the 20mm. So where did he go? Is he behind me? Where should I go? Left or right? Maybe I should go right. Maybe I should go right. And nope, that took too long. So 6 kills for nothing. And we had another battle scene on Advanced to the Rhine. This one is a bit longer, and this is, I guess, the most well executed run that I have. Again, flanking straight through the middle. Thank you, Gaijin, for those spectacularly well modeled wooden tank traps. Running into them and losing all the speed is the greatest fun that I've ever had. Seriously, that is annoying as all hell. So, my artillery strikes hits a lot. And what do I do now? Well, I'm doing a very, very stupidly aggressive maneuver. So when you listen to me carefully in the beginning, wow, those awesome fences, really, then you might not really see the problem here. So I launched the smoke, but the distribution is actually not that well. I hit here the Leopard. What is it? It's a 2A4. And he actually looked in the wrong direction, and I will just simply gutted him. And then we have another contestant. I do not go here into the cap before I disable him, and he is immobilized. There is nothing he can do, and I should have gone for the driver. So that is again me showing off how bad I am. And again, the APFSDS just doesn't hit the last crew member. Let's go for the driver. Let's end it. Thank you very much. That was not the best gameplay here. And again, I'm taking here a risk by not looking to the left, but I get rewarded by, well, dealing here with this Leopard 2K. Thank you very much. And there is another candidate. So they really didn't expect it. He absolutely has no idea what happened to him. Disabling the gun breach, he has no chance. And probably could have killed him with a side shot here, with the first shot. But I think that was quite a run, right? So I cleared the flank. My team went around C. They're already capturing it. I cleared this flank. I helped my team out, and I got easy kills without getting shot. And that is really, really important. If you have this run, I think you can commit to it with this tank because of the strong APFSDS. Although I have to say, you really didn't see how strong the shell is, but it has positive normalization, it has very good base penetration, the post-penetration damage effect is nice, the muzzle velocity is nice, the accuracy is nice, but it's a tier 4 upgrade, so it takes quite a while to unlock it, despite having the help of the 20mm as you could see, and even the stock heat round isn't bad, and I think for side shots it's good enough, but it's just not an APFSDS. And you know, it's all about APFSDS, a top tier. Everything else is just a lie. And so, I'm just making here my journey through Cologne, which is a nice city, but with very bad beer. I was once in Cologne, and I was thinking to myself, well, you know, don't be such a snob, don't be like, I don't know, I'm from Bavaria, we have the best beer by default, and I've heard quite something about Kölsch, but then I tried it and it was really, really disgusting. It was not really well made. Maybe it is due to the fact that it took me like 5 minutes to empty that little glass, because it was just with the first try, it was not that, it just tasted awful. And if I offend here some people from Cologne, so be it, but your beer is really shit. That's the truth. Guess what Gamescom is? Where a lot of people come to Germany trying to get some culture from Germany. Yeah, Cologne, what do they try? Kölsch. Why can't the Gamescom be, you know, in Bavaria? That's culture. Okay, now I hopefully have offended enough of you. Please let me know with your dislikes and your harsh comments. And, you know, that was a good thing to just cover here, the driving around. At some point, I don't know where the last remaining enemies are, and I actually wanted to go to the right here, but I literally took the wrong corner, or took it too late, and now I'm directly in the enemy's spawn. And hello there. That's my 5th kill. And then I kill this guy here, which made a very nice maneuver. He outmaneuvered himself, quite literally. And that's my 6th kill. Now I wanted to get the hell out of there. I don't want to spawn camp. But, you know, as usual, if you do not commit to the spawn camping and you want to get the hell out of there, then you get punished. So I lose here my gunner, but it doesn't really matter. And I just look at the wrong way, don't pay attention, and move into the wrong lane. So obviously I was spotted, I was marked on the minimap, somebody is waiting for me in ambush. That is actually a Tiger 2, and I would have loved to kill this guy. And I'm down to my heat shells, and then I get disabled by Leopard 1A1, and ultimately he just kills me off. After 6 kills, I think that was a fantastic run. So you can see, if you have the jump on the enemies, you can deal with them. But honestly, a lot of tanks with a stabilizer could have done the same to not get hit. But this is the limiting factor. How you actually should play the tank is reflected in this battle on Hütten Forest. Funnily enough, of course, less kills, but at least we survived the battle. So what I tried to do is flank around C and, well, win the fight on the flank, which is at lower battle ratings and lower tiers, the job of light tanks, because I don't really think that I'm fit for a head-on fight with the main battle tanks, but I can really do a lot of good things for my team by shooting enemies in the side. And there you can see the tank has some problems with the gear shifting. You probably saw it a few seconds ago, that you have this gear shifting bug, which is highly annoying. And so I'm looking here actually for the the low ground, and remember, you're here for the bad jobs, right? So I'm just trying to be in the right ratio of aggressiveness and sensible gameplay. Aggressiveness is not always the best way to play a game, or to play on a certain match, on a certain map, in a certain match, in an up tier, low tier with a certain tank. So give yourself the best chances. Have some hard cover, and then we get the jump on the Type 90 and we get a good hit. So his gunner is out and his engine is out, he's burning, and we finish him off by killing the commander through the turret ring, which is every top tier tank's weakness. This guy was obviously shot in the turret ring, or his gunner was disabled by a tank that accompanied me, sorry about this, and well, I just made the killing blow on him. So I want to stay on the low ground in hard cover. Now the enemy know where I am because the Type 90 shot at me with the machine gun. They know something is here on the flank. Nevertheless, you always should look out and hello there. And this looks like an Abrams, and we actually do a lot of damage. Kill the gunner, we track him, and we actually finish him off with this beautiful shot. And that's a triple strike, isn't it? Well, not right there, but 3 kills in quick succession. And what do we do now? Oh, that was a shell impact. It came from that direction. So again, we stay in hard cover. Give yourself the best possible chances to retreat, to go into cover, to disengage and reposition yourself. So where is the enemy? Where is that tank? What should I do now? I play with the thought of going into the middle, but then I actually see that he got marked on the minimap, and I want to investigate, coming from a little bit of a different position. But again, remember, you quote-unquote just have 7 degrees of gun depression, which is not really bad, but it's really also not the gold standard, which is 10 degrees. Where is he? Where is he? I don't see him. That was a mistake by me, going from the binoculars view into the gunner's view, and I held down the right mouse button, which is a sign for me for following up the gun with the binoculars view. And also then in the gunner's view, the secondary armament, in this case of course the machine cannons, or the machine cannon and the machine gun. So a very important aspect as well is, if you just have 2 crew members remaining, you cannot use the 20mm again. So the crew replenishment is actually something that has a bit more value, I'd say, than in other tanks, because you keep the rate of fire, and you also have then the 20mm again if you go from 2 to 3 crew members. And very often you survive the first shot, and then you end up with just 2 crew members. So the enemy now has some planes left, and I try to shoot them down. And this is what basically the remaining gameplay is about. So what is my first impressions on this tank? I like the AMX-40. It's a nice tank, and it can definitely keep up with the other main battle tanks in terms of raw penetration power. The normalization, the muzzle velocity, and the typical stock grind are there, so it's not unusual. But it is just not the very best in the gun handling department in comparison to the opposition that it will face in the majority of cases. It is not a frontline tank. It works best from the second line as a support tank, as a flanker, but other main battle tanks can do that job as well, as good, if not better, and go also into frontline engagement. So again, the tank is good, it's really good, but it's not very good. I really think that the very best aspect about this tank is, or one of the redeeming factors, is that it is the first French tank with a stabilizer, and that it has a coaxial 20mm. You really have to play around with it to really appreciate it. And there is an M103. Is he active or has the spawn protection gone? Now it has, and we blow up the AMX in the back of the turret. So that's my 4th kill, but at this stage you cannot really call it spawn camping, can you? So we clearly have won that match, and nothing more happens, so I end it right there. So now let's have a look at the results, and for 4 kills and winning the game, just 20,000 civil lines and 2,800 research points, that's not a lot, but you can see a lot of defeats. This is the AMX-40 experience for you in my first impressions. That's it for me today, so thanks for watching, thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed this gameplay. Please give it a like if you did, subscribe if you want to see more, and we'll see each other on the battlefields of War Thunder.